Next company, CrowdEmotion. Come here. Please join the stage. Wow, I like that. I like that. Are you ready? You see the vignette? Yeah, it's beautiful. Wait, come. Let me tell you them. We're playing soccer on Friday. That's what we discussed with the startups. We're doing a soccer game on Friday, 10 a.m. And Matt was like, oh, I gotta go. Did you change your flight or not?
Can't.
You can't?
My client calls.
My friend, you're changing a client for the soccer game? That's not so good.
Poor show. I know.
Okay, man, you got 5 minutes. And by the way, the thing about the soccer, it's real. We have our manager managing this soccer game. So if you attend this event, you want to play soccer with us, come talk with me, okay? CrowdEmotion, you have 5 minutes. Oh, wait. Can we redo his time? Because I was talking about the soccer game. I'm so excited about it. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually here to talk to you today about something that's very, very human, relationships. Every day we build and manage relationships. And I'm going to go a little bit off my pitch, as usual, because last night I went to that party at Moulin Rouge. And as you're sitting there, you come to an event like this, and you're sitting there speaking to a number of people, and if any of you were out there, you'd know that the music was so loud that you probably couldn't hear them. But what was interesting is I had a sophisticated conversation around artificial intelligence with a French lady in a nightclub. But this is our world. As you can probably tell, I'm not from this side of the pond. I came over to the UK, and I got to learn what the Brits meant by interesting. It took me 6 months. So the nice thing is that I said, okay, well, this is probably a problem we're going to be facing for the next 10, 20 years as globalization starts to really take over. And we start to, I don't know, shall we say, lose our basic cohort categorization. And I think Carrefour here certainly knows what I'm talking about. But what we set out to do is, how can we address this problem? Where could technology actually help from an error rate percentage in helping us actually understand our subconscious? So I'd like to switch over to our presentation now. See if it works. Great. So here's what we're looking at. Is right now in this room, everybody's processing about 11 million bits per second. And consciously, you're recognizing 40 of those. So that leaves 10,999,960 bits per second left to the subconscious. And that's what's driving a lot of your decision making. But we're not measuring that. So when I take a look at LeWeb', 20,000 people, that makes it 247 billion bits per second. That's what we're talking about. Or let's go one step further. It's actually an opportunity globally that the human population is processing 77 quadrillion, I had to look that one up, bits per second. So that's the size of our opportunity here. How do we get into it? This. It's already out there. It's used 150 times a day. It's the first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. And it's got 10 to 15 sensors. Its penetration rate is about 1.2 billion people at this point in time. What's incredible about these is that these sensors have been used for classical consumer use cases, but we can use them in a scientific way. And I started to talk to the neuroscientists around, some of the top neuroscientists around the red brick universities in the UK, and we started to do some cool stuff where you saw the facial coding just earlier. So we saw it play out in 2 ways commercially, because now we're here to run a business. One element is insights. How do we understand the emotions that drive choice? We can get into that. And the second element is, if we could teach technology to feel, we can also teach it to respond with feeling. And that happens in the ad scenarios. So here's our market. Real quickly, right now we're working with the BBC, WPP company, Lightspeed Research. We're partnering because, frankly, we can't tackle this on our own. So Mobiquity, they do 10-figure contracts in the pharma space and have a big API gateway. So that's where we're at. We see our reachable target market there around 350 million. Second, then once we have enough data, that's why we have to start marketing, error rates are okay. Once we have enough data, we move into healthcare. We've already put in a bid around depression detection to the UK government. And then, of course, security. It's not about just identifying the criminal, it's about identifying who's lying and what type of intent they have. Type of team, we're just data scientists with a serious emotional problem. And we realized that actually, if we approach it from the neuroscience aspect, we have to follow a lot of very classic data collection models, which take a long, long time. From a data science collection model, we call it research in the wild, and we can then pass that information back to the universities to help promote the business. Our ask today is for $3 million to help flourish that growth. And that's CrowdEmotion. My name's Matt Saluzak.
What a pitch. Great job, Matt. Great job. David, can you use it for Carrefour?
Looks like fantastic and a bit scary in the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to think. My main question would be, I can see lots of potential different kind of usage. What's your real target? What's your number one target? What do you want to do? What kind of customers or partners?
So when we actually went out to address this problem, we realized that a lot of the science was sitting in silos within the universities, but it just hadn't reached the market yet. So we are acting as that bridge. We're an API solution. We're acting as that bridge to collect the data. There's still a lot of knowledge to be generated off of it, but the number one target for us at this point in time for the next 2 years is build up that data through basically ads, the ad space. And we're working closely with the Omnicom group to do that.
So now you need to build an environment of partners using your APIs, using your knowledge and your technology.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no way any one company could probably tackle this on their own.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, we already have. We've already started to build the partner network. I mean, Omnicom already has us in 8 bids, pretty large ones. BBC uses us in 6 countries around the globe. It's the worldwide division. So we get to test a bunch of people and how they... It's amazing what people say and what people actually do. Where they contrast is where all the anomalies and the opportunities lie. And so for them, we were able to find a 3% uplift in primetime ratings in Australia just because of that. So basically, media broadcast ad agencies, anywhere where the camera and the stimulus come together.
Looks like people want to try it. It's good.
Yeah. So we're at the booth. You guys can come by and try it. We've also got a one where it's kind of like you could change the seasons based off of your mood. We're playing around with this called Changing Spaces with Faces type of initiative.
That's pretty cool. I tried already. Rodolfo.
How do you see the business? I mean, what's the size of the business that you aim at within the next couple of years? I mean, what size company you want to be?
I think, hence the ask, rapid growth. We'll have to do rapid growth in order to stay ahead of some things. In the next 2 years, I see us being at around 80 people. It's ambitious, but I also have the right team behind me to help get there. Former CMOs and COOs from pretty large blue chip organizations. Then the model itself is, again, back to an API cloud-based solution. Everything goes back to that, but then you have to get industry specific through your operating company. So, but for us, we're looking at break even mid next year.
And what are the industries that you think are going to be more affected by it?
Immediately, the ad space. You could get super, I mean, we call this, I think, one of the ladies at Johnson & Johnson expressed this the best. She works in the Middle East, where 20 years ago you could create a baby food product and sell it to the market as one product. Now, the Qataris only make up less than 20% of Qatar, and the other 80% does not have a majority population. So how do you sell that baby food when it means something different to each group? We're scaling personalization. We're enabling a company to actually talk to people at an individual level, rather than a cohort.
Do you think it's going to help people like newspapers and all that? I mean, to be able to adjust to audiences better?
Yeah, I mean, the audience alignment stuff is fascinating. We found some really strong correlations between engagement and happiness, which, again, we're using more in the TV and media space. We haven't done it with newspapers, but we've certainly done it in the broadcast. I mean, BBC, we're working very closely with BBC in the broadcast space.
Pierre.
Since we develop energy not to hide our emotions. How do you get people to accept showing their emotion? How is it going to be in the future?
It's a good one.
It's a really good question, and actually I think there's two parts to that answer. So the first thing, actually it turns out our job with clients is primarily educating them on the value exchange. If you're going to ask for people to submit a very personal thing, which is a biometric signal here, you have to be able to give them something in return. So in the market research space, they've solved that problem through incentives and that type of stuff. And it's already built into their system. But that's only going to get us less than 1% of the population. When you're looking at apps and developing it that way, you start to get into, particularly in the pharma space, they're looking at, is there a better way to do preventative healthcare on the psychological type of ailments that affect us every day? So there's a personal benefit there to be able to actually have either a cohort, a support group, or actually be able to diagnose it. From an advertising space, smile for a coupon. It's pretty simple.
My friend, there's a question here. It's a technical question. There isn't only one scientific technique to understand the feelings of a human.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah, so what we built is we actually work with the universities. So this one you saw was facial coding. We work with the universities on different biometric signals. We'll have voice and touch coming in by the end of next year. And our focus is actually the analytics engine on the back end. So you can take any biometric signal, cross-validate it, because that's how you shrink your error rates. And then you link it through machine learning to a behavior. And that's fundamentally where we're focused, because frankly, you're absolutely right. Just because somebody's smiling, as I learned in Britain, doesn't mean that they're actually happy about something.
Great. The last one, how precise is the algorithm?
So we went with a machine learning algorithm from facial coding, and in that you're looking at about an error rate of about 35%. Current error rates on heuristics models is about 60 to 65%.
Thank you very much, Matt.